Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners. We're focusing on Albion Park. 10 races at the Creek this weekend. We start at 5:17, and again, all in all, it's a really strong program. The highlight is the 3-year-old Metro race. Many of the 3-year-olds that contested last week's APG Gold Bullion finals are on the backup, so this is going to be a very interesting race, and there's a number of other good support races. So a lot to look forward to this Saturday night. Don't forget, down at Melton, Fader Waite steps out in that Nutrien Equine final, so we'll be cheering him on proudly as he tries to remain unbeaten. In this edition of Weekend Winners, we're going to catch up with Adam Sanderson and Doug Hewitt. Adam Sanderson now joins us to go through his book of drives for Saturday night, and he's in the hot seat now. Adam, appreciate the time.
Nice to be here, Chris.
Dance Edition, this is your mare in race number 1 on Saturday night. This is the mare's Open Pace, and she's been great since finding her way to Queensland. How do you sort of expect this race to unfold on the weekend, though?
It's going to be tricky, sort of sticky draw. So it's probably in the lap of the gods for us, really. It all depends how they drive the one. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So
no doubt you're hoping that Player Blanca can lead. Do you think she could lead if they really want to get serious early?
Yeah, I think so. Her runs sort of 4 and 5 starts ago were pretty good for a field like this. If she can recapture that form, I couldn't see why not. They wouldn't want to drive her like that.
All right. So that being said, if she leads, you're sitting right behind her. How do they stop your mare up the home straight?
Yeah, it's sort of going to be one of those ones how the races run, but on form and the way she's going, she's as good as any in this race. So I'm really looking forward to it.
All right. Even if you're 3 fence, do you still give yourself some sort of hope there?
Yeah, as I say, it's just how they run the race. But she's pretty versatile. She can be driven either way. So as I say, I'm really looking forward to it.
All right. So 3 local runs. She's won 2 of them. How has she trained on since that last start performance?
Yeah, she would have raced last week, but I was away for the weekend, so unfortunately she couldn't. It would have looked a nice race for her actually. So she seems good. She had a couple of easy days after her last start, and her works this week's been terrific. So I can't fault her.
All right. Is there one mare in particular that you can pinpoint as the biggest threat? Would it be Orchid Stride, or do you think it's fairly open?
I think most of these mares races are pretty open. It sort of all depends on who gets a better run, and either all of them can capitalise on a good run. So yeah, it's pretty open to me.
All right, well that's race 1, Dance Edition. Let's go to race 3. You've picked up the drive here on Bombardier Jujon. Last start winner, that came on Tuesday night. That was Veterans Company. He's back in the Band 4, Band 2 race. Potentially a little sticky the draw here, the inside of the second row. How do you rate his chances?
He's flying, the old boy. His form the last sort of, you go back, the last 2 months, he's been terrific in fields like this also. So as I say, it's a sticky draw. It doesn't look like the one, as a natural leader. So we probably might be shuffled back on the pigs. But it looks like a race that the fence probably won't be a bad thing.
All right, it's a good point you raise about him. He is Mr. Consistency, and you'd like a barn full like him.
Yeah, he sort of went through a flat patch where his form was a bit hit and miss. But a few gear changes that Grant's done, and he's really really found form again. So as I say, he's just a nice, honest horse.
There was no fluke about that win. I know it was veterans grade, so this is a lot harder on Saturday night. But there was a lot to like about the win on Tuesday night.
Oh, for sure, it was terrific. He worked around and done all the work and held off some pretty handy performers. So yeah, it's a terrific Band 4, Band 2 this week. But any luck and they'll know he's there.
All right. Looks like you're going to get guaranteed pace just looking at this lineup.
Yeah, it's a terrific field. Probably one of the stronger Band 4, Band 2s. They sort of have been every week, but as I say, it's a good field, and I expect them to go a good race.
All right. Race number 5, again for the Dixon stable. You're driving Mr. Domingo. Now, he came back to Redcliffe last time out, showed good early speed, led, and then just raced away and scored comfortably. This is a step up again, but how do you sort of think he'll measure up?
Yeah, he's a funny horse. He actually has a fair amount of ability. He's had a few niggly issues, but on his last start, I know it was only Redcliffe, but he was terrific. And if he brings his A game, they'll certainly know he's in the race.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you raised too. He does have ability. There's more than one occasion where he's shown that he can match it with the big boys.
Yeah, for sure. And it sounds probably stupid, but drawn out wide, it probably suits him. He's a horse that sort of naturally likes to get up the track, and you can let him sort of do his own thing. And keep him happy. But if we can sort of, press forward without doing too much, and he can sort of, do his own thing, I can't see why he won't be competitive.
Okay, well, that's Mr. Domingo. Let's go across to race number 8. Houston Street for the Dixon stable again here. This is a mare that I think is bursting to win a race. She's had no luck. She comes up with a good draw. How do you rate her chances?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. She's going good races off bad draws, and she's finally got a draw where I think she can hopefully capitalise.
Yeah, and it looks like the main dangers are drawn to your outside here.
Yeah, that's it, and she looks like a nice free rolling type. She likes to be out and doing things, so it looks the perfect draw on paper.
All right, Robin X is in form, so is she the obvious one to beat here?
Yeah, it's a step up for her too,
Yeah.
but she's she's sort of been in front and doing her own thing. I know she's run quick time, but sort of the one start where she was in behind in the field, she didn't go quite as good. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how she steps up against these ones.
All right, well you got several good chances there on Saturday night. Which one are you most looking forward to?
Yes, it's sort of one of those things. They're all going to need a little bit of luck from the draw, but hopefully Houston Street can capitalise. But I'm really looking forward to see how Dance Edition steps up to these open years.
All right, that's in race number 1. Adam, as always, really appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Lovely, thanks, Chris.
New Queenslander Doug Hewitt slides into the hot seat now to go through his drives on Saturday night. He's with us now. Doug, appreciate the time.
No worries at all, Chris. Thanks for having us, mate.
How are you finding Queensland?
Yeah, loving it. We're starting to get a bit of a roll on now. We've settled ourselves and got a bit of a routine happening, so makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, we're flat out and enjoying every second of it.
Excellent. The team's going well. Let's go through Saturday night's runners. Infinity Beach lines up in the first race. Much kinder draw this week. It was the draw that beat her last week out in Gate 7.
Yeah, definitely. She's a mare that's just absolutely kicked goals since being up here. She's loved the change, and each week just getting better and better. Each week you wonder whether she's going to start tapering off, but she's given me no signs of that so far. So drawing 3, it is open mares. The band 5 didn't stand up, but I'm actually not too worried about that. The way she's feeling, the way she's going, I think she'll be right in that race.
All right. Does it make it a little tricky though, Gate 3? Do you have to use her early, or do you just grab up immediately?
It does make it tricky. You're always sort of in that false sense of having to go forward out of the Gate 3, thinking that you're right there, so it's not hard just to push forward. But if 1 or 2 from outside cross you, it's a long way forward. So we'll just play it as it comes. If we have enough speed to rally through, all well and good, but she is a mare that can be just driven off the speed, and she's proven that a few times up here so far.
All right. Looks a super open race, doesn't it?
It does. Right across the page, back line and front line, there's speed everywhere, and it's pretty open, which should make for a good race.
All right, race 3. Keen to get your thoughts here on My Mate Pog, who makes his debut for your stable. You've got the visitors draw, Gate 12, and this is a strong lineup.
Yeah, it is. We didn't know sort of where he'd rally up here. It hasn't panned out too good for him so far with his first draw, drawing 12, but he's a horse that at home you would have had to been going to Menangle. There was only sort of a race once every sort of 2nd or 3rd week back down at Bathurst, so they elected to send him up, hoping that he could get a bit of consistency going. So we'll just have to drive him pretty dead for his first start, get a feel for him, and we'll go from there.
All right, 17 wins from just over 60 starts. That underlines he's got a motor. So whatever he does this week, he'll improve and we'll just keep following.
Yeah, definitely. He's a horse that I've got to get a feel for. He's come to a different track, different climate. So yeah, we'll just have a look at him this week. There is a chance that if they go mad up front, he could come into it late, but like I said, we'll drive him pretty dead from barrier 12, and I think he's only going to improve.
Okay, race 4 on Saturday night, Alta Equus. He's a horse that's thriving here in Queensland. What happened last week?
Absolutely no luck at all. He's in that running line. The 3 wide train come a little bit too early for his liking. So I elected to stay in and hoping to get a bit of a trail into it, and just never got a clean crack at him. He was all over him up the straight looking for a run. If I sort of could have got back out onto Angus's back, he's the one that won the race and flew home, he would have been right there with him. So disregard the result from last week. If you just have a look at his previous runs, he flew home the week before. He is in really good form, and he's another one like Infinity Beach that sort of took another step since he's been here.
He's got good gate speed. He's proven that. So front row draw a mile. Are you going forward?
From 5, it is tough. if there's one or two other ones that keep you out, you're a long way out for a fair while until you cross down. And over a short race up here in Queensland, it's just come to, I'm starting to get the feel we just run the whole way. So he's probably a horse better driven off the speed, but if he could zip across and then take a sit, yeah, that would suit him down to the ground. Another thing, just have to wait and see how it pans out. Could rally off the arm and see where we end up from there.
Again, it looks really open. There's no real standout here. Query's on the one, having its first run up here, but overall it looks open.
Yeah, it is. It is. So that sort of inclines me to have a bit of a look. But yeah, we'll know more as Saturday rolls around. And I can't fault my bloke. He's feeling good and looking as good as he ever has. So all things considered, I think he should be right into that race.
All right. So with all of your runners there, the three runners that we've just spoken about, we just need some luck.
Yeah, pretty much. It's any race in harness racing, you're always counting on a bit of luck. But yeah, them three for sure. If they all get a little bit of luck, you know, they could be around the money. Like ever since I've been up here, I said as long as they're competing and they're pretty similar each week, which they have been. So looking forward to getting a couple more runners under my name, and my mate Paul gave me his first start. I'm looking forward to getting him to a Saturday night meet more often. All
right, excellent stuff. The team's going well. You've settled in nicely. The results are there. Keep up the good work. We'll see you trackside Saturday night.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me, mate.
A big thanks to our two drivers this week, catching up with Adam Sanderson and Doug Hewitt. We wish the boys best of luck on Saturday night. Hopefully there's a winner or two to be found for both lads. Now, looking for a good thing or two on the weekend, I think we can strike early. Race 2, number 7, Mossdale Terry. Yes, the draw is bad, but this is a sharp horse who's going to rapidly get through his grades, and I wouldn't be shocked if he measures up to one of the better races during the upcoming Constellations. I like this horse. He's a nice type and he's versatile. So race 2, number 7, Mossdale Terry. That's our good thing for the weekend. Remember, if you are gambling this weekend, please do so responsibly. 10 races. We start at 5:17. We'll see you trackside this Saturday night.